Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namo Vishnupada Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine Namaste Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vajati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Sri Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna Prabhus and mothers, thank you for attending this final chapter 15 of Harinam Chintamani. So please join together to do the Puspanjali in your saddle bari. Collect some beautiful flower and chant together. You can unmute and chant together if you want to. It's very nice. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Enanjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri
Guruve Namaha.
Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Kale Sayam Rupa Ramayam Dadati Shapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathannitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Sabadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Nami Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavade Paschata Deshatari Pancha Kalpa Tarubhescha Kripa Sindhubhaya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Namo Namo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Binda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Because Prabhu, would you like to start chanting? Sorry, reading.
Yes, Prabhu. So
Chapter 15. Go
I,
ahead.
I let me just open it, Prabhu. I haven't opened the. Uh, I haven't logged in into the notes, Prabhu. Oh, just we are on chapter 15, right, Prabhu?
Yes.
Um, I'm just scrolling now. It is open. Chapter, chapter 15. Bhajan Pranali. Gadai Gaurang. Jai Jai Nityanand. Jai Sitanath. Jai Gaur Bhakt Vrinda. The Lord said, Haridasa, by your devotion you have received all knowledge available in the universe. All the Vedas are dancing on your tongue. All the conclusions of scriptures are in your speech. Now speak clearly about the rasa, sentiment or mellow of the holy name. How does the jiva get qualification for the rasa of the name? Haridasa in great bliss said, through your inspiration, I will describe it. The highest, uh, the highest, purest state, the perfection of the absolute truth, is called rasa. The rasa is not the emotions or sentiment of the material world, but is the inherent nature of the absolute pure. It is unlimited, full of bliss, and the greatest glory. The absolute truth reveals his variegated character through his energies, which are inseparable from his very existence. Abhin. His energies create the variegated spiritual world, which is prerequisite to rasa. Through his spiritual energy, Krishna reveals his form, name, dham, and activities. The spiritual truth is known as Krishna with Syam Sundar form, residing in Golok Dham, performing his sweet pastimes with his devotees. Thus, variety and rasa exist in the Lord due to his spiritual energies, which cannot be separated or differentiated from the substance of the Lord, Abhin. In this way, the absolute truth remains supreme, whole, akhand, beyond duality, Advait, and simultaneously engages in a transcendental world full of beautiful forms, activities, and emotions. The shadow energy of the Lord's spiritual energy is called Maya. By the will of Krishna, this energy creates the material world outside of the spiritual dimension. Through his Jiva Shakti, he creates the innumerable souls situated between the material and spiritual world, similar in qualities to Krishna but infinitesimal in size. Because of their borderline quality, the jivas are of two types: eternally bound jivas and eternally liberated jivas. Those who are eternally liberated are qualified as Krishna's eternal servants in the spiritual sky, and those who are eternally bound engage and suffer in the material shadow away from Krishna. The jivas dwelling in the material world are of two types: those taking Krishna's name and associating with devotee who will go to the spiritual world of rasa by the power of the name, and those who ignore Krishna and toil hopelessly for rasa in relation to inert matter. The gradual realization of rasa in the name is compared to the blossoming of a flower. The name is compared to a flower in bud when it is spread to the general mass of people in the world. When one realizes the beautiful form of Krishna in Golok Vrindavan through continual chanting of the name, that is compared to the partially opened flower. Continuing sadhana further, when Krishna's 64 qualities become revealed in the name, that is compared to the fragrance from the half opened flower. When one realizes the eternal pastimes of Krishna in Golok, Vrindavan, the flower is in full bloom. Then by the great mercy of the name, the original energies of Hladini, bliss, and Samvit consciousness belonging to the spiritual world, whose prime embodiment is Radharani, unite in the form of Bhakti Devi and descend upon the small Jiva, who possess only a small portion of Hladini and Samvit energy. From the transcendental realm, Bhakti Devi reveals to the Jiva the full rasa in the name, and by her mercy, the Jiva takes on his spiritual body and enters into the pastimes and tastes rasa. There are four ingredients of rasa vibhav: Vibhav, Anubhav, Satvika Bhav, and Vyabhichari Sanchari Bhav. The mixtures of these ingredients produces rasa. Vibhav, the general cause for rasa, is divided into Alamban and Udipan. Alambana means the root cause, that upon which the rasa depends. It is divided into Ashray, the recipient, who is the devotee, and Vishaya, the object, who is Krishna. Udipan, the instigation, is composed of the form and qualities of Krishna, which are realized through constant chanting. Thus, where there is Alamban, devotee and Krishna, and Udipan, Krishna's qualities, Leela and Rasa can occur. When the conditions of Vibhatva are perfected, Anubhava, external symptoms of internal emotions appears. These symptoms are all based on pure spiritual love and can in no way be compared to the symptoms of love in the material world. Gradually, as emotions deepen, sattvic and vyabhichari bhavas, additional symptoms appear. By the combination of these ingredients, the initial sthai bhava, primary mood of the devotees, transforms to rasa, full spiritual flavors. The situation of tasting rasas in the spiritual world is the highest perfection, the ultimate goal of the jiva. According to the scriptures, there are four goals for man mentioned in the Ved: dharma, arth, kam, and moksha. These, however, are meant to lead to the supreme goal, param purusharth, rasa. One who is truly liberated is qualified for rasa. The path for attaining rasa is as follows. The jiva who has attained faith in bhakti receives a pure Vaishnava guru. That guru gives the Mahamantra. The Jiva will take the mantra either in the form of Smarana, remembering the name, or Kirtana, chanting the name, regulating himself by counting on Tulsi beads. Gradually, as his craving for the name increases, he will increase to 3 into 64 rounds of the two forms of taking the name. Kirtana is the more powerful, for in that process are combined Shravana, Kirtana, and Smaran, and by it the senses of the Jiva dance in joy. By taking shelter of any of the nine processes of bhakti, one progresses in devotion, but of the nine processes, chanting is the best. Those who have an attraction for deity worship will reach perfection only by also engaging in hearing and chanting the name. But those who have exclusive attraction for the name need only engage in hearing, chanting, and remembering the name. If one executes these three processes nicely, all the other nine processes of bhakti, serving the lotus feet, praying, servitude, and complete self surrender, can also be easily accomplished. With faith that the name and Krishna are non different and avoiding the 10 offenses, the effects of the name will be perceived. By clear chanting and remembering of the name, one will find attraction and joy in the name. Then one will either meditate on a form of Krishna or constantly take darshan of his murti along with one's chanting, delving deeper and deeper into the name. When one has succeeded in realizing the form of Krishna in the name, one will then meditate on Krishna's qualities, while chanting. One will meditate on a pastime of Krishna with the aid of a specific mantra. When all four elements become one, one will begin to perceive rasa in the name. One will perfect the rasa by meditating on the eightfold pastimes of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. Gaining one's spiritual body by the mercy of the Guru, one will enter into the pastimes with the associates of Radharani and according to the directions of the Shaktis. Shakhis, one will serve Radha and Krishna in ecstasy. This service in the conjugal mood is the most brilliant thing in the spiritual world and is obtainable by the jivas by the practice of bhakti. These are even higher stages than there are even higher stages than this, but it is not possible to describe them by mere words. These things will be revealed by the mercy of Krishna. The specific process is now described. To receive a spiritual body in conjugal rasa, one must culture 11 specific items in one's identity, one's relationship, age, name, bodily color, membership in a particular group, dress, order, residence, higher expectation in service, and protecting gopi under whom one serves. These items are perfected through five stages. First, one will approach a guru who has realized Krishna's eternal pastimes and the 11 items in eternal service. Upon hearing the eightfold pastimes of Radha and Krishna, one inquires how to realize that state. The guru then describes the 11 items by which one can enter the pastimes. This is called Shravana Das. The
Hold
guru.
on. Very good. And I hope you grasp the whole thing. So far you read, Prabhu.
It was mesmerizing, Prabhu. I was in a different
This is
world.
like a condensed form. We have to dilute. It requires some digestion. If you have time, I would suggest you also join in the Jaiva Dharma that we're starting next month. It will take 1 month break because these are very condensed form. This question will come in our heart and we will not find the answer unless we discuss this in details. Mother Neha, are you available to read?
Yes, Prabhuji, I can read.
Okay, go ahead, Mata.
I'll continue. The Guru will then choose the particular spiritual identity of the disciple according to the tendency and attraction of the disciple. If the disciple does not have a natural taste in one bhava, he can request another from the Guru. When finally one spiritual identity fits, he vows to the Guru never to give it up. This is called Varan Das, the accepting stage. The disciple will then practice remembering his given identity in his heart. This Marandas stage of remembering is divided into 5 levels. First, one tries to remember the eightfold pastimes, but the mind wanders. This is Smaran. When one's practice becomes steady, it is called Dharan. When one can meditate on all aspects of the desired object, it is called Dhyan. When this Dhyan becomes continual, it is called Anusmriti. When this becomes perfect, it is called Samadhi. If these stages are followed progressively in Smaran, one will quickly come to the stage of Apan, possession, where the 11 items are realized as one's constitutional state. However, if one is busy making an exterior show but does not cultivate fixing one's identity within, he can't perfect this stage. But fixing one's identity is natural, since the jiva has simply forgotten his perfect stage when entering the material realm and body, desiring his own pleasure, and proportionately as one increases his practice of remembering his natural state, material designation and identification will decrease. One can reach Apandas either from Raganuga sadhana, where scriptural rules are minimal, or through Vedhi sadhana, where relying on suitable rules from scripture is predominant. If one progresses through the stages of faith, practice, purification, steadiness, taste, and attachment in either Vedhi or Raganuga sadhana, one then comes to the stage of bhava, preliminary prema. It is at this point that one attains apandas. At this stage, beyond the category of sadhana bhakti, when scriptural rules will be discarded as troublesome to one's service, conceptions of raganuga and vedhi will both be discarded. Here, one's identification with the material body will vanish and identification with one's spiritual body will predominate. In that spiritual body, Swarup Siddhi, one will always see Vrindavan and serve Radha and Krishna. This final stage is called Sampatti Dasa. By Krishna's mercy, suddenly one's material body, mind, intelligence, and false ego will be cast off, and one will appear in a pure spiritual body serving Radha and Krishna along with their eternal associates. The Jiva can achieve this fifth stage in perfecting rasa by taking the name and becoming purified. Therefore, the Jiva with faith should take up chanting of the name seriously and constantly in good association. He will take superior Vaishnava association, avoid material association, and reside away from material glare. By the strength of these three items, he will achieve his position of real glory. Haridasa said, I am low, mean minded, and absorbed in material enjoyment, always refusing good association. Still, I am begging for causeless mercy to progress to the last stage of bhakti. Saying this, Haridas fell unconscious at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya said, Listen, Haridas, in the future, people with evil minds will degrade these intimate pastimes. But those who are real devotees will understand the supreme teaching that you have given. Taking shelter of this knowledge and taking shelter of the name, they will chant the name and worship Krishna far away from the materialist. The jiva will attain faith in bhakti through past accumulated sukriti, devotional activity. It is hard for all the jivas to obtain bhakti. Lead them on a direct path home. I have come to preach the yug dharma of the holy name. You are helping me accomplish this activity by describing the full truth about the holy name. Whoever attains the full nectar of the touchstone of the holy name, worshipping Krishna in spontaneous emotion, has attained full success and full bliss. A worthless rascal, weeping, I hold that person's feet and beg that he distribute the bliss and let me drink forever just one particle of the nectarian rasa. Should I continue, Prabhuji?
Well, we finished the literary 15th chapter, we finished it, but now it's a summary of given. Anyone has any question? Otherwise, we'll continue a little more. Seems like no. So continue, please.
Okay, Prabhuji. Prema alone is the purpose of the life of jivas. Bhava, which is the soul's feeling, develops into prema. Turning their face towards Krishna, the more jivas progress, the more they approach the temple of prema. Thus, in considering the candidacy for prema, we meet at the outset with two kinds of circumstances. One is an intense longing for the unattained prema, the other is the stage when the pedestal of prema is already reached. There is no higher stage beyond the latter one. An
Hold on,
incessant
Mata, just hold on to it. Maybe just let's see catch up. Otherwise, I don't know if we are not just interested of reading. We want to grasp, embrace this philosophy in our heart so we can actually apply it and experience it. Otherwise, I will not feel happy to see any of you in spiritual path are busy and hungry for ultimate goal. Anyone remembers the example of eating soup with the forks? Did anybody ever try to eat soup with the forks?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, you did? How did you do it? Can you explain?
Yes, I took the fork, ate the solid part, and then I had to drink the gravy.
Oh.
You can.
You're smart. But if you have a liquid soup and you try to drink it with the forks, what happened, Mata?
Nothing will stay on.
Now there's two things will happen to you. You'll stay hungry and busy. In our spiritual path, we should not, and there are many devotees who actually feels that way. They're busy and hungry, but they're not getting nourishment. We don't want to come to that point, hopefully. I hope everybody apply this principle that we are learning and not just busy and hungry. We want nourishment and we keep on going. So let's catch up what we got so far and then see if we miss anything. First of all, what is the purpose of this creation? I want, if anybody has a Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam 3.5.24, please prepare. I want to see what Prabhupada says the purpose of this creation. What is the purpose of you, Vikas Prabhu? Why you are born? Why did you come to this world? Ask this question. What is the purpose of this creation? Prabhupada answers there. So the universe around us appears to be orderly and symmetrical, isn't it? The planets rotate perfectly in their orbits. Our bodies possess complex circulatory, respiratory, digestive system. My God, you have to breathe. Oh, that's not enough. You have to eat. Oh, that's not enough. You have to digest. You have to like go on within your body. Maybe you don't think about it, but that's how you actually involve. By the way, if any one of you think, do I really have to understand the philosophy? I'm giving you boldly and clearly. Please remember this. You, everybody in this creation lives, L-I-V-E-S, lives by philosophy, whether it's a thoughtful Krishna conscious philosophy or unthoughtful mental philosophy. I personally investigated with a homeless, with a professor, neurologist, my friend Arnie Miller. I was literally one-to-one, sat down and talked to them. A homeless guy said, I literally asked him, do you live by your life with the philosophy? He said, no. I said, what is going on in your life? So, oh, that's so many crazy things. I said, did you eat well yesterday? Say, it's okay. And then he went for whole half an hour discussion. I said, you know what you just discussed last half an hour? It's a philosophy. You just didn't have a thoughtful Krishna conscious philosophy, but you have an unthoughtful. Unthoughtful means you have no control on it. Your mind dictates. You don't like it. So you can live by unthoughtful philosophy or thoughtful Krishna conscious philosophy. That choice each of us make. You cannot live without philosophy. Whether it's a homeless or a royal prince or princess, everybody lives by philosophy. What we are doing is a thoughtful philosophy, that's all. We have intention, intentionally we are progressing and we are aware where we are heading. Those who are not aware, they are still going to die, they're still going to think. They cannot stop thinking. They cannot stop the function of the mind. I hope everybody understanding that. It is not that you have to become philosophically inclined. You are born with it. Everybody. Whether it's a thoughtful philosophy or unthoughtful mental speculation. Everybody grasped it, right? I hope. It is not it's only a question of choice, that's all. So if human beings can create house, skyscrapers, many other structures, it is plausible that a person far more powerful than any human created the universe and everything in it. A Vedic scriptures teaches that the material world is created not once, but repeatedly. I'm sure you heard that word Prabhupada speaks. Bhutta, bhutta, praliyate, again and again. Creation, annihilation, creation, annihilation. Additionally, this universe is considered to be one of many, all enclosed like innumerable bubbles floating in space. The common man also knows that the creation is made by some creator. Is not created automatically. Everybody believed that and understood that point. It's not automatic. You are not born automatic. Medhavi Prabhu, you are not just born automatic. You created this life in your last life. Whether you are aware or not aware, that's the only difference. But you created, each of you, Mother Anastasia, Mother Kara, everybody, you have created your life. Do not complain what you're facing in life. I'm serious. This is a first. In order to do real bhajan, you have to accept the truth as it is. Whether you like or not, that's difference. The soul, more subtle than any matter, generates his own successive material bodies. This world and its creatures are here to facilitate the soul's self-centered desires and ultimately to enable his return to the spiritual world. This is very important. What is this material world? We just read, Mother Neha or Vikas Prabhu, one of them read. Please remember, this is a key point. You have to remember while you are chanting who you are, where you are. Then you can connect Krishna with it. Otherwise, it will be artificial. You will stay hungry. So first point is, what is this material world? Is a prison house, Prabhupada says. The material world is but a small portion of Krishna's kingdom. A place for those who wish to become the center of enjoyment. What did I just say? Can somebody understand this point? You wanted to become the center of your enjoyment. That's why you are here, Prabhus and mothers. Mother Nilambari Radha, did you grasp that point?
Yes, Prabhuji. This material world is created because instead of Krishna, we want to keep ourselves in the center and enjoy irrespective of Krishna, without Krishna.
Very good. The material world and its suffering is not really God's desire. It is not Krishna's desire. Just as government would prefer that there were no prisons. I really thought about it deeply because I used to go to prison to teach Bhagavad Gita, and we did a lot of research. No government ever really want to see that anybody goes to prison, but they build a prison. Every state in America has a prison. The government made. Why? They don't advertise, come here and stay here. No. But they know some soul will, some citizen will break the law. To discipline them, we need a place. So try to understand this creation, material world where we are today. Its suffering is not really Krishna's desire, just as government, as I mentioned. Though the government provides and organizes the prison service, the criminal is, please remember, each of us as a criminal, I hope you feel bad and it will make me happy if you really feel bad that you are a criminal. We are, including Brahma, Prabhupada said. Even Brahma is a criminal, just to be here. He may have a big position, but doesn't matter. Because in the prison, even some inmate has a big position. Inmate means they live there long time, 15 years, then they get like a big Baradada in the jail. They're still a criminal, but they are given a little position. So the material world and its suffering is not Krishna's desire. As I mentioned, government provides and organizes the prison service. The criminal is responsible for his or her situation. Mother Anastasia, what did you hear just now?
We're responsible for our situation.
Do you know what did I just say?
Yes. We end up in a situation because of our own previous activities. It was our desire to be away from Krishna. So we're responsible for where we are now in this material world, and it was not will of Krishna to create it.
Very good. I hope everybody remembers, you are responsible for your situation. Whatever you're going through, whether you are advancing or suffering materially, you are responsible. Please accept that. If you don't accept, you cannot do bhajan. Forget it. You are fighting. Anyway, I won't go that route. Maybe we'll touch it a little bit, but this is important, key point. So, similar example, that Krishna created this world, the soul created his own happiness and distress. Krishna created the world, but you created your happiness and distress, not Krishna. Try to differentiate between these two. The world is a place where fallen souls attempt to enjoy existence separately from God. Braj Prem Prabhu, why am I as a conditioned soul here? I just said the answer is given there. The world is a place where fallen soul attempt to enjoy existence separately from God. You have to remember this.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. The ultimate purpose of the world is reformation. Everybody is aware of the word reform. We're not converting. The idea of Christianity, Islam, whatever, the conversion, we are not converting. Krishna consciousness is not a conversation. I mean, converting from one religion to another religion. We are discovering who we are in our origin. That's called reformation. So ultimate purpose of the world is reformation of character and attitude. It is not, okay, I'll chant. I don't go along with this Prabhu or this Mataji. I cannot get along. It doesn't matter, I'm chanting. I'll just, Satyadevata Prabhu, I'll die and go back to spiritual world. No, sir. What is that reformation of character and attitude? Please write it down. Otherwise, Prabhus and Mother, you're going to come back. And I don't have a plan of coming back to do the Harinam Chintamani again. So, two things, character and attitude, by which each soul, each of us can attain liberation, then ultimate goal, Krishna Prem. The soul suffers not so much through his location, but through his rebellious attitude. And I come from that route, I know. I just didn't like my temple commander because he's always like bossing me around. Then at one time I thought, but that was later, many years later, why did I come to temple? I came for purification. Why am I complaining for? He's helping me to adjust my attitude. And I'm complaining. You understand where I'm coming from? Please go along with the devotee. Respect, even if you see some devotees doing wrong. Intentionally, they are not meant to doing wrong. If we do not cultivate, reform our character and attitude, I'm sorry, you're not going much further. So I repeat, the soul, each of us suffers, not so much through our location, which temple, which person I am with, but through my rebellious attitude. Okay.
Prabhuji,
Then question
can I ask one question here?
To understand? So make a heading like a key to understand. What is it? The key to understanding the purpose of the world is that Krishna has given us limited amount of independence. I don't know any one of you ever went to jail or prison. Well, maybe in your country also. You went, Prabhu, Madhavi, Prabhu, you went to prison?
Oh gosh, so many times.
Oh.
I was arrested in England about a dozen times, put in prison in Ireland. I was deported even.
Oh, Krishna.
For
Okay.
book distribution.
So you have a very good experience. Thank you. You are wonderful, dedicated Prabhu for book distribution. You went many.
Well,
Thank
I just
you.
didn't run fast enough.
I touch your feet, Prabhu. You did it wonderful. So I learned not by going as a criminal, but I went to teach Bhagavad Gita, and they taught me very well. And one of them said that he never likes eating at 12 o'clock. But the prison rules is everybody get in for lunch at 12. He always likes to eat at 4 o'clock, but 4 o'clock, nothing is there. So he suffered, and he still suffered. Because his habit is like this and his digestion system. So what I'm trying to say, why I brought this question, the question I brought here, that you have independence, but your independence in the conditional state, try to understand this, minimized. In the prison, in your house, you can eat at 4 o'clock or whenever you want. But in the prison, you have to eat only when they allow you to eat. And if you're not hungry, sorry, you're going to starve for that day. So we have an independence. We'll never experience full-fledged until we become pure devotee. That's our natural, original position, to be a lover of Krishna. But in conditional state, your independence means dependence on Krishna. Please write it down. Your independence actually right now depends on Krishna. If you depend on Krishna, actually you will regain your independence and life will be easier. Material world is created to give us, the soul who wants to be happy independently from God, a place to live. Here in the material world, our intelligence is covered by Maya, illusion. We are trying to become the Lord and Master of the world. Oh, by the way, it will never happen. You can try your best to make the prison as a paradise. It will never become. Prison will remain eternally prison. But your endeavor, a lot of people in America, they don't give up to make it like a heaven. They want to enjoy forever here. It's never made for it. Disappointment comes, they see it, but still they don't give up the idea that prison will never become paradise. But they will keep on trying. I try too, even as a devotee. When I came here, I remember, I was thinking like if we have enough money and nice house on the beach front, whatever, the dream, everything, you can beat the whole system. It's a stupidity. That's the conclusion. from my side, and I stay boldly, and I can challenge with anybody because that's a fact. So
I ask one question here, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
This is in relating to the previous point you were mentioning, that we are here responsible for all our actions in this material world. I have this strange thinking which was in my mind. I wanted to ask you. This is relating to the creation. So Krishna has created us here, and then he has connected us with this Maya elements. So many sense objects this connects, and we got carried away. We are doing mistakes. We take second birth, and we come back again. We again get connected, do these mistakes. We are repeated births, and all is going on. I just get this thought that if Krishna wouldn't have put me here in this material world and made me connect to the sense objects and not made me bound by Maya, probably I wouldn't have been here suffering life after life after life after life after life. So I feel the principal thought process is, why did he put me at all in the material world? This is the crazy thought. It comes to my mind since some years, Prabhu. I couldn't get an answer for that one.
Yes. You have to wait for 1 month for Jaiva Dharma to start.
Okay.
Or, I mean, this is a very genuine, valid question. I just didn't want to get sidetracked.
Understand.
Because this is a wonderful question, actually. Did you have a children? Are you married? Or maybe I should not ask you personally.
No, it's okay. No, fine, Prabhu. I'm married. I have a 14-year-old daughter.
Okay. When that girl was a little girl, she didn't know how to walk. She would try to take a step and then fall and then cry. Why didn't you put her in the crib and leave her there for 14 years? Why you try to make her walk? Why?
Because she has to walk the whole life. So she has to
That's
practice.
your idea. She didn't tell you that. What was your idea? Why you made her learn how to walk, even though she's falling, bumping, you are encouraging, but why? Because you can see the future, she cannot see.
Correct.
She also had a desire to walk. Maybe she could not speak in your language.
Would be.
I mean, it's true. Otherwise, they would not even start. Correct. So she had a desire to walk, and you wanted her future to be brighter. She would normal walk. So you, even though she struggled, but you encouraged her. Similar example, you put it for us. When we suffer, it's not really suffering like you're going to be completely forever devastated. Krishna knows you are eternal. But misuse of free will give you a strength that I don't ever want to misuse. The ticket that I got from the police, sheriff, was a good lesson. And nowadays I notice, even this morning, because to go to temple from my place to temple, it's about 7 minutes drive, but there is a 3-stop sign. And definitely it says stop, S-T-O-P. Did not say slow down, check around, go. It did not say anywhere. It says stop. And I stop. I really stop. And I look at it. Okay. But within me, I see also there's nobody at 3:30 a.m. I can easily go. But I see that's the dictation of the mind. It's not a dictation of intelligence. So I tell to my mind, it's not a good idea. Your suggestion is corrupted. Stop it. I literally talk. Maybe, if somebody hears me talking with him, like, is he crazy guy or what? Yeah, because I have to tell the mind, don't dictate something breaking law. So misuse of free will is built in the free will. At the beginning, just to give you a little clue, I don't know if I can show you that picture. I actually did a drawing. Somebody helped me with that. Mother Vishnupriya did help. That you are in the marginal, and there's spiritual world and there's a material world. See, in order For you to establish your eternal relationship with Krishna, it has to be naturally attracted. So at the exposition, don't ask any more question on this, because in Jaiva this requires a nice discussion. At that moment, those who looked at the material world, they came here, period. Those who looked at the spiritual world, they went that side. So I'm asking you, why did you make the wrong choice? You can ask me, why didn't you stop, Prabhu? There was a stop sign. Why didn't you stop? Prabhu, I asked that question myself. Why didn't I stop? $182. It's not the $182 is a big deal, but it's just like, why did I get ticket? When I thought, I chant so good every day, everything is good, I'm so good devotee. And then I was thinking like, it's a good devotee means that Krishna should just let you do whatever you want, nonsense things I should do and it's okay. No. Even in Bible it says, Jesus said, what belongs to Caesar, give the Caesar. What belongs to God, give it to God. Similarly, what physical law you have to obey when you are in physical body. The helicopter does not have to follow the red light of the street. Helicopter is above that. So when you go above that level, then Krishna will arrange that level. But that doesn't mean, I mean, I don't mean to criticize, but sometimes we have the feeling in a free way, there's a 60 miles an hour and one devotee was driving 120 miles. And one Maharaj said, I literally told him, stop it, I'm not going with you. This is crazy, why are you going 120 miles? He said, Krishna will protect. Maharaj, why you don't have a faith? He said, this is a stupidity. So you think that you doing mistake and Krishna will protect. Where Krishna did say that? But this is the conception we have. We think I can get away. You remember the seventh offense? That on the strength of the holy name, we can do something and we think like, well, I'm a nice devotee. So even though I did horrible things, but it's okay because I chant very nicely every day. This is a deadly offense. Krishna will never give you Krishna Pran. So this is just a shorter version that, yes, you did choose to come here and you came here. Whether intentionally you are fully aware or not aware, that's not the question. If the child, Prabhupada said, if the child knows the fire will burn or not have information, still fire will burn. Am I right? Or do you think the fire will say, it's okay, it's a baby, it's okay, it won't get burned.
Fire will still burn.
Yeah. So what we're doing, we're trying to educate ourselves spiritually and make a conscious decision to come back to our original, what we are made for. And the seed of bhakti will grow into beautiful form. Each of us will experience and will have a astonishing feeling when we connect with Krishna. This is the whole purpose. And from that level, Jadgatta na nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. Krishna says, once you enter there, you never come back. Krishna says that. Jadgatta na nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. Once you attain me there, you'll never come back. Period. So that's what we are trying to do. But some or other, how did we calm all these mistakes? We'll discuss this in Jaiva Dharma details.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you. So I want, just where did we start? Oh, we are discussing about the prison house. That's the number 1 point. Second point was a key to understand. And in that discussion we said that the key to understanding the purpose of the world is that Krishna has given us limited amount of independence. Krishna let us act as we like, but at the same time, we are responsible for our activity. So in actuality, although the hand of God is beyond the creation of this world, it is actually created by us. All those houses in America is not created by God. God sanctioned, but it is all created by the soul. I want this kind of house. I want this kind of job. I wonder if we could fly that way. They will invent something. The whole material creation is nothing but by the desire of each soul, and Krishna supplies the ingredients. Of course, Krishna sent the intelligent too. But Krishna wants each of us to have our journey eventually and turning back towards him. That's all. So the material world is created to give us, the soul who wants to be happy independently from God, a place to live. Here in the material world, our intelligence is covered by Maya, illusion. Everybody understand that point? And that's called material intelligence. So when you follow spiritual instruction, you are actually opening your covered intelligence by aligning with the spiritual intelligence. And we're trying to become here under the illusion of that master of the material world. We are forgetful of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and instead of surrendering to him, serving him, we are trying to get others to surrender to us and serve us. We want to be God. This is very funny because one devotee say, actually, it's kind of an Indian, come to temple lot, and he has some attraction to the deity. So I asked him, I said, so you want to be God? Oh, no, Prabhu, never. I said, so what happened to your hotel? He has a motel business. I said that when somebody didn't pay, didn't have the money, what did you allow him to stay? He said, no. I said, so you control the motel? Well, I have to do my job. I said, yes, you are trying to be God. So no, I'm not trying to be God. I said, that's the activity of God. When you cannot see yourself as the instrument of God, you actually try to control on your own, separately from God. It is a God. You are substituting. You think you have a controlling power. Brahmaji also felt like that. Brahmaji said, how can the demigod thinks this young boy is my father? Let me test it out. So Brahmaji came down from Brahmaloka to Vrindavan. From the sky, he didn't land. From the sky, he was trying to create a forest. He saw all these covered boys with Nanda Maharaja's son having a picnic. So Brahmaji created a beautiful, beautiful field with a newly grown grass. Brahmaji said, wow, my creation is very good. He knows he's getting power from Vishnu, but he doesn't know who Krishna is. So he's testing Krishna. In the test, he succeeded. He thought he's winning. He's putting Krishna into illusion. So he created a beautiful, newly grown, it's a lashamai grass. You know, a particular grass is like very attracted to the cows. And all those cows, they ran to this newly manifested field. And Brahmaji said, wow, I got it. If it is my father, Vishnu is this boy, then how come I'm creating on my own? I diverted them. And then he hid them. Krishna couldn't find. Krishna was crying. So then, of course, Krishna told the boys, don't get up. I'll go and search it. And then when he came around, Brahmaji stole the coward boys. You all know that story. In the Brahma Bimahan Lila, Brahmaji literally put everything. He felt he was controlling Krishna under illusion, his illusion. You know where you get actually worst hit in your life, or you get hurt most? Where? Not from accident, from car accident, whatever accident. You get worst torture in your mind, in your experience, from a relationship. Physical wound can be very bad. Still, there is a chance you can tolerate. But mental abuse, relationship abuse is the worst. So Brahmaji went back to Brahmaloka, not Brahmaloka, his office, and on top of Bandar Hill. Then he was surprised. He's not welcomed. All these millions of his own children, he created them as a security guard. They don't even recognize him. And he landed, no welcome. He's the head of the whole universe. Nobody even say, big lamp and welcoming party and chanting hymns and everything, nothing. One guard comes, four-headed guy, can I help you? Four-headed guy? I'm your father. Oh, you claim to be my father. Wow. We heard from our father that some people imitate our father. Now I see. Brahmaji thought, what did it wrong? Am I in my planet? Can you imagine you come to your own house and your wife, children don't recognize who you are? They say, excuse me, stay outside the door. So what are you talking? I'm your husband. What husband? Let me call 911. How do you feel? 911 means in America is emergency, the police come. And police comes and arrest you because there is another person. So Brahmaji got so bewildered. When his relationship was shattered, he started questioning. So similar position we have. We think we control. But actually we are controlled by the Maya, subjective perception. Maya allows us to think that we have a controlling power. So what is the bottom line on that? The material world is created to give us a chance that we want to be happy independently from Krishna. And we want to be God, we want to be the master, but actually we cannot be God. You have to actually convince yourself. Each of you, we are constitutionally very small and Krishna is very great. This is eternally true. God is always God. We are always his servant. It will never change. Eternal default. And it's a very sweet relationship. So I don't know if any one of you had an opportunity to see the Bhagavatam 3.5.24. Srila Prabhupada says the purpose of creation. Instead of reading the whole purport, you can just read the, I believe it was on the bottom, or
I have got it open, Prabhu. I can read the.
can you find a line that says the purpose?
Okay, Prabhu.
The cosmic manifestation gives the conditioned soul, something like that.
So it says the cosmic manifestation was not present at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And thus he felt imperfect without his plenary and separated parts and parcels. The material energy was dormant, whereas the internal potency was manifested. So it starts, Prabhu, by saying the Lord, the undisputed proprietor of everything, was the only seer. There was nothing else.
Okay, keep going.
And then the cosmic manifestation was not present at that time. And thus he felt imperfect without his plenary and separated parts and parcels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, found the sentence what you're mentioning, Prabhu. The
Okay.
cosmic manifestation gives the conditioned souls a chance to go back home, back to Godhead, and that is its main purpose.
Yes, that is the point, main purpose. Okay.
The
What
Lord
is
is
keep
so
going, reading.
Yeah, the Lord is so kind that in the absence of such a manifestation, he feels something wanting, and thus the creation takes place. Although the creation of the internal potency was manifested, the other potency appeared to be sleeping, and the Lord wanted to awaken her to activity, just as husband wants to awaken his wife from the sleeping state for enjoyment. It is the compassion of the Lord for the sleeping energy that he wants to see her awaken for enjoyment like the other wives who are awake. The whole process is to enliven the sleeping conditioned souls to the real life of spiritual consciousness so that they may thus become as perfect as the ever liberated souls in the Vaikuntha Lokas. Since the
This,
Lord,
Prabhu, this you have to type it out and leave it at the door. Every day you look at it. What is the purpose? Keep going.
yeah, since the Lord is Sachidananda Vigraha, he likes every part and parcel of his different potencies to take part in the blissful rasa, because participation with the Lord in his eternal rasa lila is the highest living condition, perfect in spiritual bliss and eternal knowledge.
So how many of you want to join in Ras Leela with Krishna? I want to join too. And Prabhupada says, this is Prabhupada's own writing. This is his own feeling expression. The purpose of creation is to invite each of you to come and dance with God and live with him eternally. This is very important. What was before creation? Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, who is beyond material creation, exists before creation. Bhagavatam 3.5.23, Krishna claims this very nicely. And after annihilation also is him. Period after annihilation, before creation, all living entities are dormant in the form of Lord. What is the reason for creation? You just heard it. The compassion of the Lord towards living entity. And he's inviting us to come and join in his Rasa Leela dance. And root of creation, the false ego of the jiva, is the root cause of creation. Every living entity has a minute independence to take decision, either to utilize in the service of the Lord or to lord it over. That choice, Krishna will not make it for you. You have to make it by your own decision. So how to understand? I conclude here. Our endeavor should bring us to this point. Whatever Lord wants us to do, we should do undeviating. Every living entity is meant for transcendental sense gratification of Supreme Lord. Srila Prabhupada says this in Bhagavatam 3.5.51. When the living entity gets purified of the desire of lording it over, material nature, only hanker for the service of the Lord can they enter the spiritual realm. So what do you need right now? Developing a desire to serve him. Service is also under guidance. Don't serve by yourself directly. Don't try to build a relationship with the Lord directly without Guru. You will be deceived. Taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, one can root out ignorance by receiving knowledge, by surrender. That also Prabhupada clears 3.5.14 Bhagavatam. So Vedic knowledge and Mother Ganges, because yesterday was Mother's Day, are two ladders to attain the lotus feet of the Lord. Best process to Lord's lotus feet is to hear the glories of the Lord with full faith, devotion, and eagerness. I was going to give you a 3 clue. Let me think. Yes, because many of you may think The goal of spirituality is to go beyond emotions and actions. Because what we read so far here, and attain peace by merging in an impersonal light. I hope that conception literally disappear from your heart. Prabhupada's name is Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine. He came, the follower of Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur. Namaste Saraswati Deve means, O follower of Saraswati Thakur. Gauravani Pracharine, you have come to do Gauravani. You have to come to preach Gauravani. What will be the result? Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Paschata Desh doesn't mean Western world. Any heart that searching for sense gratification is the Western world, where sense gratification is predominating. So in your heart, I hope these three things get reformed. First is unnatural, second is unfulfilling, third is unstable. What is unnatural? Our emotions and actions define our very being. They are characteristics of our essential nature. For us as a conscious being to be stripped of emotions and action is profoundly unnatural. What is unfulfilling? Peace, like a painkiller, offers relief from worldly miseries. But just as a physically, we soon find painkiller unfulfilling and long for health, spiritually, we soon find peace, unfulfilling, and long for happiness. And happiness comes through love, through relationship, and through reciprocations. And third point is unstable. Any unfulfilling situation makes us unstable as we seek something better. So as the peace of impersonalism turns out to be unfulfilling, we become unstable. We seek something higher, but feel lost, not knowing where to look, as we had assumed impersonalism to be summit of spirituality. Please remember, Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur said, I remember I was reading Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur commentary, when this contamination of impersonalism infected us, because impersonalism is what Nirvishesha, Prabhupada's mercy, these two things supposed to be destroyed in our heart. If these two things destroyed, you see the Lord in your heart. One is impersonalism. When impersonalism born? The moment you displayed apathy towards devotional service. Impersonalism is a disease infected your consciousness. Now, if you say when, that you have to ask yourself. Because it is not calculated by time. Nobody kept track. Nobody had a clock or watch. When did you develop apathy towards God, towards devotional service? So now, if you look at Bhagavad Gita 12.5, underscores that attachment to the impersonal conception makes spiritual life difficult. Klesha adhikataras tesham avyakta asakta chetasam. Avyakta hi gati dukkha deham buddhir abhappati. That sloka very clearly defines. Now, Krishna is offering a higher alternative. Next two verses, 6 and 7, Krishna recommends the path of devotional service. Devotion catapults us to a dynamic spiritual reality. that lies beyond the beyond, to Krishna, whose transcendental eternal personality exists beyond the impersonal absolute. Please focus. Even when you look at the deity, your consciousness has to go beyond the deity form in order to come back or see the deity as Krishna. Otherwise, the conception of marble or wood that made of will not disappear.
Prabhu, which chapter we are reading with?
No, this is just a comment on 15th chapter, from 12th chapter, Bhagavad Gita. So loving Krishna is natural, fulfilling, and stable. So there's 3 points. Natural, we discover a spiritual avenue for our natural needs for emotions and action. Second, fulfilling. We relish loving reciprocation with all attractive Supreme Person Krishna, who satisfy our heart fully and eternally. And third, as I mentioned, stable. Once we taste the fulfillment of loving Krishna, we don't need anything else. Our hearts find supreme shelter in Him. So conclusion is, Krishna is beyond the beyond personified, the pinnacle of spirituality, the goal worth our loftiest aspiration. You know, even this morning when I was looking at the deity, it is not the deity came from Jaipur or what is the other place called? Bankura. They make a wooden Gornitai. No, this conception is not good. Conception is that subjective perception. Goloko namni nijo dhamni talesha tasya devi mahesha haridhamishu teshu teshu. That when we look at the deity, that Krishna in Golok Vrindavan enjoying eternally with Srimati Radhika and all the Brajavasis. But because I belong to him, I have a relationship, I want to serve. I came in Mangalarti to evoke the affection for him by glorifying his Mangala Charan, Mangalarti. Then immediately should be thought, as Prabhupada says, that Goloka Namni, he is coming down, took a form that I can relate. And through that form, he hears our reciprocation, our prayers. If I have a longing, if I have an innate feeling, he will take it. Otherwise, it will be rituals. The spirit has to go with the rituals. When we pray, the spirit has to go with it. Then, my Lord, I'm calling you, please forgive me. Accept me as who I am. This is required. This kind of affirmation is very important.
Prabhu, the first point which you said, if you can repeat, on the emotions.
I'm sorry?
So Prabhu, 3 points you explained in detail
Yes.
for Krishna, and because he is fulfilling, and on the love side, he reciprocates, to the jivas. The first point, what was the first point, Prabhu? You said
First
something.
point was natural. Natural means we discover a spiritual avenue for our natural needs, need for emotions and action.
Thank you.
And the second was fulfilling, third was stable. So this view, when you see the deity, every day you are offering, but think of the deity like this. You first don't just go to deity and stand there like a wood or statue. You become a wood. No, you go with a longing feeling. Because that why I'm mentioning this, I think I mentioned one time, sometime back also, that sometimes doubt may come. It did come to me many years back. If if I don't like something to do, seems like a superficial, why should I endeavor superficial endeavor of chanting? I don't feel anything different. Okay, today I chant, tomorrow I don't chant. Do I see difference? No. Then it seems like a superficial. Yes, it is an external level, superficial. But who am I? If you all remember, one day I explained you, there is a fundamental identity versus functional identity. Fundamental identity is I am eternally a servant. I have eternal relationship with Krishna. That is my fundamental identity. Functional identity, oh, I'm American. No, I was born in India. I'm Indian. Oh, I'm a man. I'm a jeweler. I'm a householder. I'm a businessman. These are functional identity. We're not trying to push it away. But those functional identity has to be under fundamental identity. I hope everybody understands what I'm talking, right? Whatever you do, just like Arjuna, I mentioned, Arjuna had a big problem between these two identity. He says, am I the aggressor, Kshatriya Dharma? To protect the citizen, I have to kill the aggressor. Or am I the protector of this Kaurava dynasty, Pandava dynasty? And Bhishma, Dronacharya, they are all to be protected. Wait, they are also aggressors. Should I kill them or protect them? Oh, Krishna, I cannot do it. I'm completely collapsed. He gave up. His Gandiva slept out. If you remember Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter. First chapter turning into 2nd chapter. This is how it is. What did Krishna answer? Text 14 began. Arjuna, you are neither Kshatriya, you are not doing your Kshatriya Dharma or Kula Dharma. Sorry. You are not doing your Kshatriya Dharma or Kula Dharma. You are not a warrior, nor you are a protector of your family. Oh, then who am I? You are a soul. Dehe inosmin jata dehe komaram jovanam jata tata dehantara prapti dhiras tattva namayati. Arjuna, you are a soul. You are servant of God. You are servant of super soul. That's me. So at the end of Bhagavad Gita, that Arjuna put the sword, bow and arrow down, and he picked it up. Did he pick up as a Kshatriya? No. He picked up as a servant of Krishna. Karishye vachanam tava. I'm ready to obey your instruction. I'm very happy. Sthitosmi gata sandeha, all the doubt has gone. Nasta moha, my illusion is finished. Smriti labda, all the memory came back. I am eternal servant of you. Prabhu, I am ready to execute whatever you want me to do as an instrument. So he did fight as a Kshatriya, but under the what identity? Who remembers? Who can help me? He is fighting.
Fundamental identity.
Kshatriya identity was under which identity?
Fundamental.
Fundamental. He is the servant, instrument of God. That is the key. It doesn't matter what situation you have, what you feel like doing, but make sure it is as a servant of Krishna is above all your thinking, above all your action. Then you'll be done. So, but at this position, you have to pray. Prabhupada said, just like you pray like a little child, baby crying for mother's attention. When you chant, your whole world should be put on hold. Please remember this. Srila Prabhupada said this to Keshav Bharati Maharaj. He was a brahmachari that time in Chicago. Prabhupada was chanting on a japa beats. Prabhupada said there could be a time you may not be connected with any temple nearby when death comes. You may have no friend, no deity, but this japa, chanting, can be the only shelter. And he was very serious. So when you chant, your whole world should be put on hold. It must be about you and Krishna, nothing else. That's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that 11th offense is to have your, we have a ISKCON version, cell phone on or cell phone off. Because a lot of devotees, when they chant, they look at every few minutes, oh, is somebody calling, text me, or no, it should be off. Inattention is dangerous. When I chant, I don't think anything else. I'm not on my computer. I'm not reading a book. I'm not doing this or that. I'm just with the holy name. You cannot have anything. You may say, well, when somebody chants, they give 2 hours totally to the holy name. They have no distraction around them. They sit in one place. And we call that sitting is a sacred space. Creating that quiet space where you can peacefully chant without distraction. So when you chant, when I chant, means not only creating the external space, but more importantly, creating the internal environment in which you don't allow yourself to be distracted. You could also say, when I study, I study. When I work, I work. It is the same principle. And we see many devotees, many people become so absorbed in reading their newspaper that they become oblivious to everything around them. We should be this way with our chanting every day. When I chant, want to be completely given over to my japa, not to anything else, externally or internally. That's why I love those memories where Mother Jamuna Devi, I mentioned you many times, that she told Prabhupada, oh, I have a so important, I always forget it, so I want to write it down. Prabhupada said, there is nothing important more than when you chant, it's only holy name. And she told us in Alachua that since that day, she said, that doesn't matter. Mind will tell me this is secret, oh, I forgot this. No, when you chant, you chant. Nothing else important. Okay. So where we end, we'll start Wednesday with that, from there. Somebody send me a text. If our faith is attacked internally or externally, what should we do? Very interesting question. Very good question. Any reflection, any question? Or we end here?
May I ask a few questions, please, Prabhu?
Yes, Mata.
Yeah, the first question was about this process that is explained, that we read today, about the flower, you know, like in the beginning, it's still like blooming, so the gradual realization of rasa and the name and like this, so it goes until the stage, yes, when there is, you know, the flowers in full bloom, and then you almost like meet with, you know, Radharani and stuff like this. So my main question is it seems like, you know, every time that we go to Japan, if we manage to improve by time, you know, and go through all the stages. So in the end, it's like you go into this meditation and you can leave your body almost at the time by this explanation. That's how it seems like. So this is actually can happen to a person like this, that you go through all the stages, you sit at some point, and if you reach that final stage, you can leave the body while meditating, while chanting.
I just sent everybody in the group a picture. Actually, Mother Vishnupriya made it yesterday. I forgot to send it, about this flower you are talking about. Let's see what it says. Everybody got it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
So you have Nama Rasa, then you have a Rupa Rasa, then you have a Guna Rasa, and then Lila Rasa. Wow. This is just my wording. It's not an exact Sanskrit way. But first, Nama Rasa, where you are chanting, I went to meet one devotee. He was a Prabhupada's god brother. So he passed away, Babaji. And those days when senior devotee dies in early 80s, they used to invite every temple representative. So from Ishkan Mayapur, I went with Jadabharat Prabhu, and Jadabharat Prabhu also left this world, and another devotee. So we went and we were discussing. They said, if you put salt in the samadhi, then you'll never have to take birth here. I said, I'm going immediately. You know, like I was greedy to get liberated immediately. So I remember very clearly that Maharaj, he was a very old, Prabhupada's godbrother, very old. And he was in his 98 or 99, I forgot. And he was sitting and he's chanting. And that's how he passed away. And so their discussion was that, yes, when you are chanting, within your heart, you really start seeing the Lord's beauty, full form, so attractive that you are not distracted anymore. And when you are just so much innate longing, feeling for the Lord by seeing his beautiful form within your heart, externally, your body, like eyes closed, or your body is not moving. And then you will start like remembering all the qualities that you ever heard. He's so merciful. He's so kind. He really cares for us. You will remember even past times. At that time, you live from this world. You don't even know whether you are alive or dead. That's very wonderful, isn't it? So nobody spoke to that Maharaj, whether he knew that he's leaving from this world, but he left. I remember we gave the samadhi. We bathed him and then put him in the same seating he was sitting, chanting. And you saw Prabhupada's picture. When Prabhupada was leaving, he was still talking. The prayers on the 10th canto, 13th chapter, beautiful. All those slokas, explanation. Prabhupada was fluent in remembering Krishna. How Krishna is everywhere, in everything. And he was fully conscious. Even though he didn't eat for weeks, he didn't have any muscle and bone. It's like a very skinny Prabhupada body. He could not even go to Govardhan Parikrama. He wanted, but it's very difficult to take with that body. But he was fully blossomed in his realization, expressing the Bhagavatam. So we can say, well, he's dead. No, well, but did that departed great soul, did he or she felt that he's dead? No. They are already seeing Krishna and they just transported to another place. That's all. Just like an idea I give you, when Krishna left this world, three perceptions took place. One perception is that Krishna came from Dwarka and crossed the Jamuna, and then when he entered into Vrindavan, he became just like Brajabasi as he left. I hope everybody understand this concept. Whenever Mother Yashoda sees Krishna, Krishna can be 125 years old, but he still looks like a little cute boy, sits in mother's lap. This will never change, and Krishna does not try to change. It is naturally in a default position with everybody's relationship. Radharani does not see him as like a little cute baby on a crib. Radharani always see him as a young, macho, strong body, beautiful, handsome. But Mother Yashoda sees always a darling son, a cute child she cannot live without. This is eternally exist within Krishna. So anyway, when Krishna came there, then he created a illusion where a big airplane came and everybody boarded, and all of a sudden the earthquake, all kinds of horrible things started, and Nanda Maharaj says, what's going on? Krishna says, the Kali Yuga. He said, what is Kali Yuga? He said, don't worry, just get in, we'll live. So they left. So the Narad Muni saw this scenery that people saw, our Mother Earth is crying. So what happened? So, oh, Lord left. So then Narad Muni was flying. He went to heavenly outer space. He saw all the demigods are paying obeisances and glorifying. Narad Muni says, what's going on here? He said, Lord just left this earthly lila and he went back to Golok Vrindavan. So we are missing and we will only be able to see him in our lifetime because it's only once a day of Brahma, which is 4,320,000,000 times 2. That's only 12 hours. And 12 hours times 2 like that. So that's a long time. Then Narad Muni literally entered into Golok and he asked Madhumangal, hey, where were you yesterday? So with Krishna. Why? So where are you today? With Krishna. He didn't even notice that you are from material world, you went to spiritual world. You understand, Mother Anastasia? This is difficult for us to conceive. But for an eternal associate, they don't see any difference with material and spiritual when they're coming, playing here, Leela, or they're always so much focused on Krishna, they never misses him in that sense. They're always with him. They don't even know whether they are in this body or that body. They don't see any difference body. They think always themselves as a body. That's it. They don't have a body. They are the body. The soul is the manifestation over there. We have a body, is difference. So when I leave the body, but if you are completely absorbed in that level, as I send you the flower, and the last level, you are absorbed in that, you will not know whether you left the body or you didn't leave the body. Does it give you some idea about?
Yes, and just makes me think then about all of our like Maharajas. I mean, we're, you know, like senior Vaishnavas and our gurus, they're teaching us, you know, to come to this level, yes, and probably they're all at this level. So they're like controlling not to leave their bodies, or what are they actually like doing? I mean, they're not living in this material world like we are. They're here, but at the same time, they're not here. They're the same, you know, all our gurus are the same as Krishna. So also, I'm trying to understand then what's happening with them. Like,
I see. See, the point is when they are here, they want to please Prabhupada by preaching. So they don't want to just stop their preaching. But at one point, after preaching long period, they just go completely merge into just thinking of Krishna. Just like when Krishna left Vrindavan, some of the coward boys never felt missing Krishna so much. Why? Because anytime they miss, they close their eye and think of Krishna, where did you go? And they literally go in that plane and they play. And there is another world for them, and they just play whole day, night, go on, and they forgot that Krishna left Vrindavan. That idea was not there. So it depends on each devotee where they are spiritually. When they are here, they want to serve, they don't want to die unnecessarily. They want to preach, that's why they try to maintain their body like this, because they find happiness by pleasing Guru, by pleasing Prabhupada. So that is very important. But internally, with their bhajan, they can also be in that situation that they never left. They are just open the eyes and there is Krishna, they're playing with him. Everybody knows the story of Narad Muni. When Narad Muni told Krishna, I go to material world to preach, but I don't know what is Maya. Do you know Narad Muni did not know what Maya is?
Yes, Prabhu, I've read that.
Yes. Explanation and experience are two different things. You can hear something, but experiencing is another thing. Experience is more powerful than explanation. So in that sense, we'll tell you another day that story, that how Narad Muni went to the material world as a queen, and she forgot, or he or she, whatever you say. And then when at the end came back, Krishna is still standing there. But she went through whole life. Krishna only asked Narada, let's have a glass of water. Narad Muni said, let me go get it. He went there and it was such a pleasing water. Then Krishna said, Narad Muni said, this is so pleasing. Feel like to take bath. Krishna said, go ahead. And he took bath, and when he came out of the water, he saw himself as a beautiful queen, a princess, I would say. And the whole another life started. And he went to a nightmare. 50 children became 50 country, and they all killed each other and they all dead. Narad Muni, as a queen, forgot about Krishna. Janmashtami day, he would not even forgot because to take care of 50 children, I don't know, but I can imagine it will be such a headache job. So can you imagine Narad Muni had no time to go to temple. So tell the treasurer, give some donation more to the pujari. But anyway, at the end of the journey, the Brahmana who convinced said, do the funeral activity of your all dead children. Said, what is the value? So I'll show you that they are in heaven. Really? Okay, I take bath. So went to take bath. When he came out, oh, it's Narad Muni. And so Krishna is waiting. So Krishna asked, this is a shorter version. I tried to squeeze the story. Then Krishna asked, so tell me, did you see Maya? Yes. So tell me about it. No, nothing to talk about. It was so depressing, he doesn't even want to talk about it. So similar. That's why Krishna never gives material illusion to the pure devotee. Once you become pure devotee, Krishna never allows you to experience this. It's horrible. Material existence is horrible. To us, we may not think like this because we don't know the alternative. But once you see the spiritual realm, you will say, who wants to live here? These are crazy people. And they are crazy. We are crazy, those who love the material world. So we'll end here. Is that okay? We'll prepare on Wednesday. Gaur Pramanande, Hare Hare Bol, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Panchakalpatra, Patita, Vaishnava, Shila Prabhupada ki jai.